channel, changing lives.
Once again, and welcome to the episode of Real Talk, another exciting one. Today's episode obviously is going to be an interesting one. From the comments I've seen on the Facebook page when we posted the story, I can tell that a lot of people are very interested in the conversation. A lot of people have a lot of opinions, and it's interesting to know some of your thoughts and even your comments that you post. We will go into that shortly, but I'd like to remind you that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. Please stream the conversation live. Tell a friend, join the conversation by leaving your comments under the comment section. My name is Evie. As usual, I host the shows for you every Wednesday, Real Talk, and I make sure I bring you amazing panelists to have a great discussion. Before I proceed to tell you what we have on our table today and all the goodies that are coming on the show today, I'd like to take a minute to tell you about this event that is coming off on April 30th. So that is at Garrison SDA Church. There is a hymn and worship experience. It is free of charge, and so you should know that that is enough motivation to get you to go there. So it's on 30th, that is next week, Saturday. It's at 3 p.m. and it's a hymn night or a hymn experience. You're going to have amazing choirs. We will have the Garrison SDA Church Choir, Hanson Road SDA Church Choir. I think we have, is it Inspirational Chorale, Marvelous Praise. We also have some solo artists such as Joel Edu. We have Efia Derby. And Pastor Atatu will be there. So please, please, please do not miss it. The theme is Thy Kingdom Come. It's on 30th April at 3 p.m. at Garrison SDA Church. Make it a date to be there. It's free of charge. Put the family together after Sabbath worship and enjoy some time with the Lord and also bond as a family. Okay, so as usual, I have amazing guests in the studio, and I would introduce them to you shortly. But today's conversation is a very, should I say, dynamic one. We are talking about exes. I dare to say most people do have exes, whether it's the one you left in junior high school or senior high school after university, or even some of the serious ones you met working and it didn't work out. Some even have exes that they nearly got married to. And the conversation is about navigating your relationship with your exes. Can you still be friends with an ex? Do you need to have them as friends? Is the fact that you are over and done with the relationship meaning it means they are out of your life? Do you find a way to keep them in your life, but in a way that it doesn't affect your new relationship or even your marriage? Because we have husbands or wives complaining about their spouse's exes, and some boundaries have been broken down. We have exes and wives chatting at ungodly hours. We have husbands texting exes and wives see and they go like, what are you doing? You know, this conversation is a broad one and it's a very interesting one. And today's story is titled, My Husband Doesn't Want Me to Attend the Same Church as My Ex. So obviously you can tell that something is at stake here. Somebody's marriage is at stake here, if I should say so. And a lot has to be said and done to help this individual make a good decision, or she has a lot to lose. So in the studio with me, I have a very beautiful lady. She is Priscilla Momo Adote. Afote. How did I say Adote? Okay, Priscilla is here with us. Priscilla is from the Nungwa South SDA Church. Priscilla is in a very beautiful t-shirt. It says Miss Virtuous Woman 2022. Miss Virtuous. The Bible says a virtuous woman who can find. Priscilla, tell me why you are in this beautiful t-shirt first of all.
Well, there's a program coming up on the 28th of April to 3rd of May at the Women Ministry Retreat.
Okay.
And the Miss Virtuous is a pageant.
Oh.
It was organized to teach the young ladies more about God and then also our Adventist beliefs. I am a contestant.
Oh, easy. Okay.
And it's going to be educative, it's going to be entertaining. On Sunday at Laboni, we are going to have a first program, which is a cooking show, a cooking contest. And there's going to be lots of food. We are going to learn new things, how to use food to spread the gospel.
Okay.
And health-wise, how food is going to help our body and our minds and our soul. So I'm entreating everyone to be there.
Right, and you said it's on 28th to 3rd May.
Yes, 28th to 3rd May.
Okay.
But our cooking show is coming Sunday.
Okay, just this Sunday.
Yes, just this Sunday.
Oh, I see. And where is that going to take place?
Laboni.
Laboni SDA Church.
Yeah, Laboni.
Laboni, we'll guess.
But now that's all I know.
That's all you know. Okay, fine. I'm sure when we get additional information, we'll put it across. But you say you're a contestant. This one, you're advertising for yourself. Or?
Of course, I need
Of
votes.
course, you need votes. Right. But aside that, how have you been your week? How has the week been for you? Has it been a good week? Has it been stressful? I know, preparing for a pageant. I can't imagine that.
Well, it's been tiring, but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
We've had fun. Today, for instance, I met new people. I got to interact with some of my friends I've seen in a long while. If not for this, I wouldn't meet them.
Right.
So it's been cool.
It's been good, yeah, it's been fine. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
The next person joining me virtually via Zoom is Amos Amakon. He's all the way in Philadelphia, and he is coming from the Philadelphia Ghana Adventist Church. Amos, it's evening at my end. Good evening to you. How are you doing? And how is Philadelphia?
Yeah, good evening, my sister. We are in the afternoon. It's 3 p.m. It's 4 p.m. here in the United States, and we are doing very well. Thanks for having me. Everything is fine so far. We have not been hit by any bomb so far, so we're cool. We're chilling here.
We're chilling there, right? We're also chilling here in Ghana. It's been raining, so we can say we are chilling in Ghana. The other the other person joining me, he is Seth Jemfi from Beulah SDA Church. Seth, good evening. How are you doing? I'm sure you are in Sunyani, if I'm not mistaken, or Techiman. How is the weather there? Has it been raining crazy like it's been raining in Accra? How is the family? Seth, I don't know if you're muted, but I can't hear you.
Hello, Evie. Good evening to your cherished viewers. And a very good evening from Kumasi.
You're in Kumasi. How have you been?
I've been very well by the grace of God. I'm great, so I would say thanks be to God.
Yeah, we thank God. He's been merciful to us. Guys, I once again welcome you to Real Talk, another exciting episode. I've told you that the story is a good one, and so we are going to go straight into the story. But remember, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Also, we are in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, your preferred and favorite Christian station. So I'm going to read our story to you. It says, "Dear Real Talk, I have a problem. My husband is uncomfortable with my current church branch that I attend because my ex-boyfriend is in that same church. So I married a non-Adventist. He allows me to still go to my church, and we have no issues whatsoever about me going to my church. However, he has been complaining about me attending the same church as my ex. He says we do a lot of church activities together, such as heading the youth department. He is the president and I am the vice president. We are also in the same church choir. Truth is, we are very good friends and we do interact very well in church. I try to limit my interactions with him when I am home. My husband wants me to change church branches and attend a different church branch because he wants me to have no contact with him whatsoever. I don't know why this issue bothers him so much. I have said all that I can to convince him that he is my ex and he will always remain my ex. We have a good friendship, but that's all that it is to it. So I don't know why this is an issue. I suggested that he comes to church with me if that's what will make him comfortable, but he has refused this offer and said even if he comes to church with me, he would still ask me to change branches. What else can I do to him knowing there's nothing to worry about? Why does he even have a problem in the first place? I have nurtured and grown roots and relationships in my current church. I can't just change church. It will be a complete start over, and honestly, I don't want to do that. Please help me convince him otherwise. So guys, you've heard our story. There's a couple, they're married, she has an ex, she goes to church, her ex is in the church with her. They head the youth department, president and vice president. They are also in the choir. Her husband is not comfortable with this, and he wants her to change church branches, but she says, I've been in the church for a couple of years, and I don't want to change branches, and it's just friendship, and it's nothing serious, don't be bothered about it. But as the husband, I wonder what is going through his mind. I wonder how this thing came about, because I think he knew she was going to that same church before they got married. So in my mind, something must have happened to bring out all these issues. Priscilla, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to ask, what is your general take on the story? What came to mind when you read the story? Do you think, what is happening? Like, reading it, how do you feel about the whole conversation?
Well, reading it for the first time, I was like, that's intense. But actually, if I were to be here, I would give it up. I would change. Because getting a non-Adventist who allows you to go to your church still, it's not an easy thing to find. It's very, very rare. And usually, it's better if you're a man.
Okay.
Because if you're a man, you're not too worried about who should follow who. But if you're a woman, it's always, you have to go with your husband.
Right.
But this is the case where you get someone who allows you to keep your church. If he says something, I wouldn't hesitate to do it. I would do it. And he's human.
Yeah.
He would have thoughts. There are things where he will see this person sometime, and then he'll be like, this person has been with my woman before. So if I were to be here, I wouldn't think about it. I'll just change it.
You just change churches. Priscilla seems to be very understanding. Amos, I'm coming to you. You're a man. You have a wife who goes to a church that you do not attend. She has an ex-boyfriend in that church with her. The woman is obviously facing this dilemma, but my question to you is, what is your take on this story? Like, how do you feel about this story, you know, going to church and seeing your ex, a man has an issue? And can exes still be friends?
Thank you so much. I think when I read the story, I was like, wow, it's a little bit intricate, you know. So the fact that the guy is still in the church and the lady goes to that same church, it's a problem. But I was also thinking about it in this way, that knowing very well that the guy allows the lady to still attend church, it's also a plus on the side of the man. Yeah, because there are so many stories that we hear when it comes to non-Adventist marrying Adventist ladies. But allowing her to go to church is a plus. And however, I mean, my sister is still trying to play that kind of trump card, you know, but I don't think it's going to work in this situation. I mean, I have heard some marriage counselors say that you do not have to have friends when you are married and all those. But I have a different opinion on that, because unlike Adam and Eve, who were created and posted to the Garden of Eden, couples are not expected to go and live on an island. You know, we are human beings, and we are made to socialize, and we are made to mingle and have fun. So there's no doubt that our friends are very important when it comes to our social life. So it's an intricate one, and I think that by the time we finish with today's discussion, my sister will know exactly what to do to help her maintain her relationship.
Right. Thank you so much, Amos. I'm going to come to you, Seth, and I'll ask for your take on the story. And I'll ask you again, can exes be friends? Or you think that immediately the relationship is done, they should go ahead and part ways and not have any form of interaction at all? I don't know if you're muted again, Seth, but I can't hear you. Okay, so I think we are finding it difficult to connect with Seth. Priscilla, I'll ask you, do you think exes can be friends?
Of course, yes. They can be. But then there should be boundaries in the friendship.
Okay.
The Bible advises us to be at peace with everyone. So I don't think they should be enemies. They are in the same, they are heading the same departments. So I think whatever they do should be related to that department only. It shouldn't go outside what they are working.
But that's not friendship though. Friendship is somebody who can call you and say like, oh, Priscilla, let's go here, I want to go here with you. And you'll be like, okay, sure, why not? That's your friend.
There are categories.
Right.
So
if you see an acquaintance in church, is somebody you hang out just in church, or the person is your friend, you can text, you can call, you can...
No, it shouldn't be text and calls.
Okay.
I just think, oh, hello, hi. If you need something I can help, I will. If I need help and I know you're the only one to offer, give it out, I will come to you.
Okay.
But apart from that, it wouldn't go beyond that.
I see. Seth, I hear you are back. I'll take your general take on the story and I'll ask you the same question. Can exes still be friends, in your opinion?
Hello. Good evening once again to the cherished viewers. My general take on the issue is that we build friendship in the course of our lives. And when we marry, our friendship affects our marriage relationship. Now, once you are married, your marriage relationship takes precedence over all other relationships. Yes, some of the relationship may have shaped you into becoming who you are, but once you are married, your marriage is your priority, and you must do all you can, as much as possible, to make sure that your marriage works. Now, when you marry, there may be changes to the friendship that you have, because it's not everything that you can take into your marriage. For instance, it's not everything that you can discuss with your friend about your marriage. There are boundaries. And so if you are very close with somebody, especially somebody of the opposite sex, and especially if this person happens to be somebody that you have been intimately involved in the past, there should be boundaries. And I believe that for any marriage to work, it requires love from both parties. It requires that both of you should be honest about.
We are missing Seth again, so just because of time, we'll continue with the conversation. Amos, I'll ask you, why do you think the husband is so against her going to the same church with her ex? What are the possible reasons why this man is so uncomfortable with this idea? Could it be something that is happening? Has he seen them interact in a way that he finds very uncomfortable? Because my point is, he knew they were going to the same church before marriage. And after marriage, he's obviously going to go to the same church. But what do you think happened? What are some of the possible reasons why a man would ask his wife to stop going to a particular church because her ex is there?
Thank you, Evie. I think that the fundamental reason here is on insecurity. Because the man feels insecure. He thinks that the wife's association with the ex could turn against him. Maybe he has weighed the two options. He has seen the man and he knows that, hey, I don't stand a good chance. So he's trying to play that card. And there is also that element of low self-esteem, right? Probably he has assessed himself and realized that the ex is ahead of him in terms of profession, in terms of in terms of physique, in terms of whatever it is. But he feels that he feels a little bit intimidated. So and he is uncomfortable. And he thinks that if he doesn't take an action, he might end up losing his wife. And there's that sense of also, we call it ownership and that kind of possessiveness. You know, every man should have it. You know, being jealous of your partner. If jealousy doesn't come in, then there's no love. You know, God himself is jealous of us because he loves us. So in marriage, I think there's that kind of, we call it pathological jealousy. If it doesn't show, if the person doesn't express that element, then there's something lacking. So, I mean, these put together are what are preventing the man or what are pushing the man to initiate that kind of action. So I think that is the underpinning reasons.
Right.
Thank you.
So Amos has mentioned insecurity, he's mentioned possessiveness, jealousy, and the fact that the man may feel less in certain categories to the ex. So, Priscilla, I would ask you the same question. Why do you think this man is so set against the wife going to the same church as her ex? What is happening? Do you think it's something the woman is doing that is making him suspicious? Like, I just want to understand reasons why a husband will tell a wife, Madam, if you are going to, let me find a church. If you are going to Sakumona Estate as a church, please change it and go to Nungwa. Like, why do you think a man will do that?
Well, to me, I know there's a saying that goes, you can put the candle close to the old flame. Definitely, these two have some kind of sparks. Something will happen. Someone will say something, there will be a scene, and then it will take you back to those times. You sit there, be missing those times. Everyone has good sides and bad sides.
Right.
So if you think his good sides are what you want and you can't find it in your husband, it's going to create some kind of misunderstanding. I think the man has noticed this earlier and wants to avoid all this kind of little fights. He just wants to avoid it. I'm sure that's why he's telling his wife to move away. I don't see anything bad with it though.
Okay.
But I think the man has seen things from afar and he's trying to prevent all these things
Before it gets out of hand. Okay, I can see that. I would have to go for a quick break, but today, because of how the comments are a lot, I will be reading as many as I can. So let me take some before we go. This one is from Mami Ikuya Pokia Mill. She says, it seems easier to ask you to change your local church, but I think there are two issues here, mistrust and insecurity. You could change your local church and the issue will still lurk. The next thing you know, you are leaving the church entirely in order to avoid your ex. Honestly, it is normal for some to still find themselves in the same environment with exes, including workplaces. If you worked with an ex, will you change jobs to satisfy your spouse's insecurity? Come on. It takes a great deal of trust and security. It doesn't matter the proximity of an ex-flame. My take, you may change your local church, however, address the bigger issues, which are your spouse's mistrust and insecurity, else you find yourself making needless adjustments subsequently for these. Okay, so the next one says, Mami Ajwa Aqua says, the guy isn't an Adventist, so asking him to attend church with you because of that isn't going to be possible. He won't come to your church because he wants to be sure that the wife has nothing to do with her ex. The guy isn't in the church, so if he's not comfortable about the wife's relationship with the ex, then it depends on what he has seen. It is not only women who have instincts, men too have it too. Most at times when we are fond of our says most at times when we are fond of our actions and the way we talk about them or behave when their names come up in a discussion will ring a bell, okay? Probably she has shown something that makes the husband think she's a bit into the ex. You might have a pure friendship with your ex, but the moment your partner shows discomfort, just respect that and end that relationship. It doesn't mean he doesn't trust you, but he is human. The lady should just imagine the husband is the one with a very good relationship with his ex. Will she be comfortable? If one day he asks her to leave the church, that's what she signed up for. Okay. Pastor Divine Ayivo says, change your church branch and give your marriage peace. Satan has not changed. He is the same devil. Okay, Eunice Ali says, you have to thank God that your non-Adventist husband doesn't prevent you to attend church services. Since he's not comfortable with this, you have to bear it before he changes his mind for you not to attend service at all. Okay. Adiman Daniel says, Madam, there's the same Sabbath school everywhere. Go to a different branch. What will you do if your job transfers you to a different region? Okay. These are some of the comments that are coming in. I'll try and read as many as I can, but we'll have to go for a quick break. When we come back, I'll check in with Seth, make sure he's okay, and then we'll continue with the conversation. Do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Cocoa dairy-free coconut milk. Cocoa dairy-free coconut milk is a fully plant-based milk, non-curdling in tea or coffee, and it's a lovely treat with any breakfast beverage or meal. It contains calcium and vitamin D2 for strong teeth and bones, and vitamin B12 to help boost your blood for vitality. Cocoa is 100% vegetarian and is approved by the Vegetarian Society of UK. It's also lactose and dairy-free, which is good even for people with lactose intolerance. Cocoa, get one today. Cocoa dairy-free coconut milk. Nature's health at your doorstep. For bulk purchases, contact 027-444-0180. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA. Cocoa dairy-free coconut milk.
My understanding about laws is that they are rules and regulations governing our society, yes, or our community.
They are like rules. They are made to regulate human behavior.
Right to freedom, right to life, right to own property. Yeah, that's what I know.
Yes. The Supreme Court. Okay, so Shaj, don't see what you. Yeah. Yes, my right has been violated. In school, I heard that corporal punishment is now abolished, but my teacher still used to cane us. The highest law in Ghana is the Constitution.
This is difficult. The law on life. I think the law on life.
So which is which? The Constitution or the right to life? Why don't you join me, Anita Delight Dankwa, every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. as we discuss all legal issues from a Christian perspective on Hope Channel, your preferred Christian channel.
We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. We are also obviously on your screens. And we are still having the conversation, the very tough, dynamic conversation of navigating your relationship with an ex, especially when you're married. So the story in our studio today, it's from a young woman who is married. She married an Adventist and her husband allows her to go to church. Brilliant, beautiful. But the issue is that she goes to the same church with her ex, and they do a lot of things together in church. They're in the same youth department. They head the department together. He's the president, she's the vice. They're in the church choir, so they sing together. And the husband is saying that he's not comfortable, and so he wants her to change church branches, not change church, go to a different branch of the same church. But she says she's been in this church for some years. She's nurtured relationships and has planted roots, and it will be difficult to move to a different branch and start all over again. And she doesn't understand why the husband is uncomfortable. she and her ex are good friends, but she makes sure that she limits the conversation when she is home. And she also goes ahead to say that she wants her husband to come to the church if he is so up against her relationship with her ex or uncomfortable. But the man says, no, even if I do come to your church, I will still ask you to change branches. So you can see that this man is adamant, wanting her to move. And she's also thinking, I don't get why I should move. And you're trying to have a conversation to help her. And you guys have been leaving tons and tons of comments. Interesting ones. I have read a few. I'll make sure I read some. Seth is back. I have checked in on him. So I'll quickly go to him and I'll ask you, Seth. Seth, what is your opinion on navigating a church relationship with an ex? Should she stop being friends with this ex? Like, how can she manage her relationship to make her husband comfortable enough for him to say, you know what, you can go to church and I trust that everything is okay with you and your ex?
I think that for her to be able to manage her church relationship with the ex as well as have a happy marriage, there must be trust. She must be truly honest with the husband. And the husband must also trust her. Above all, the two must love each other. Because if you love your spouse, you wouldn't seek your own interests. You will seek the interest and the well-being of your partner. I believe that if she is spending more time with the ex who happens to be in the same church with her, then I think it's time for her to reevaluate her relationship with the ex and see which of the relationships should be her priority. Is it her marital relationship or the relationship with her ex? I believe if she thinks that perhaps maybe her actions, she's spending too much time, because as a vice president of youth, you go for youth meetings. And when you look at the calendar of events of the Adventist Church, one Sunday you go for Bible studies. It's likely the ex might be there. Monday you go for youth meetings. And these youth meetings, you chair the meetings with the ex. You spend time together. Sometimes you might come home late. Your husband will ask you, why were you late? And you said, oh, I had a discussion with so-and-so, who happens to be your ex. And this might create discomfort for your husband. You're also in the choir. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you go for choir meetings. You spend time with your ex. And all these would, your husband is human, and you must put yourself in your husband's shoes. If your husband was spending much time with his ex, will it be comfortable? If truly she's spending much time with the ex and that time or that relationship is negatively affecting her marriage, I think she has to limit or set boundaries as to the time that she spends with her ex. If she comes home, she should cut off any form of communication with the ex. If there are any issue that they have to deal with, when they meet in church, they deal with it. Once church is over, she has to give time for husband. If your husband wants to have intimate moment with you, and then you are saying, oh, I have a meeting, I have a discussion with my subordinate or my colleague at church who happens to be your ex, he will not be happy with this.
That's true.
On the other hand, if the husband is insensitive to her, if he's trying to be manipulative, he's trying to use that as a way of abusing her, then the husband must also check his standards. The concerns that he is raising, are they genuine concerns, or is because he wants to manipulate and control the wife overly? That is why he's trying to use the ex as a means to control her. Right. So both of them, I believe, should be honest in their actions. Is the wife spending too much time with the ex, which is affecting that relationship? And if it is true, then I think she has to know that her marriage has priority over the relationship with the ex.
Right.
And if she has to change church branches, the husband is not asking you to stop your faith. If she has to change church branches, or if she has to go into a different department where she will have little or no connection with the ex, and that will help sustain her marriage, and both her and the husband will be happy, I think she has to take that action.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Seth. Priscilla, I would come to you again and then I'll ask, exes, relationship, same church, same choir, same youth department. Obviously, they do a lot of activities together. How should she navigate this? Do you think she should just say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to be the vice president, okay, let's find somebody, I don't know, choir practice, even there are a lot of people there, so that one, I can see how you can be there and not interact with your ex, but maybe she says they do a lot of interaction. She said it herself. We interact a lot in church. When I come home, I try to limit it, meaning if she doesn't try, the conversation will continue. But do you think the solution, like, how does she navigate it? Should she tell her husband again to keep coming to the church, which she has done, and he says no? Is that a way to help the problem? Should she just tell the ex that, you know what, we need to, I don't know, I've been thinking, I don't know, in your opinion, how can she navigate this relationship such that it doesn't affect her marriage?
Well, if you're not comfortable with something, there's no way you're going to get over it.
Right.
Maybe he's going to agree for the sake that, okay, let me just forget about it and let's move on, so everyone will be at peace. But even with that, if you sit down once in a while, someone would say something, you would think of something, you would see something, it would still draw you back to what you hate. So to me, left to me alone, she should just cut ties. She's a very good Christian. She can do God's work. God's work can be done anywhere.
True.
And the same God that helped her to reach where she is so far in her church wouldn't fail her if she goes to another branch. In fact, when you are going, there's going to be a transfer, and that transfer will surely hold testimonials. So I see no reason why she should be worried. She's been going for camp meetings. She's met a lot of people within her locality.
Right.
So she would definitely know someone from another branch. She can stick with that person. She definitely has a friend she can talk to. So why doesn't she just change? She should just change so the husband will be at peace. So this whole thing will just go out.
Okay, so then my question is, can you not be in the same church with an ex then? If you're supposed to move and cut ties and the ex is in the church and you have to move, does that mean that anybody that has the ex in the church has to change branches?
If your spouse is not worried, then you can stay.
Right.
But if your spouse is uncomfortable, I think you should just do what's right.
Which is to move to another branch.
Yes, please.
I completely agree. I don't see why this woman is even stressed. Amos, I'll come to you again and I'll ask, do you think she can even convince her husband to come to the church? If that doesn't work, how can she convince this man that, you know what, there's nothing going on, we are just exes, we just work in the church and, you know, it's just friends. And there's a saying in Ghana that says, oh God, my Ghana is not great. Lai Momo or something. Lai Momo.
I know that saying in English. You can't take the candle to an old flame. You can take the candle close to an old flame.
Is that Lai Momo?
Yes.
Amos, I'll come to you and then I'll ask, how can this woman make her husband comfortable since she doesn't want to move? Is there a way she can make this man comfortable enough to say, you know what, you can still go to the church, I understand you and I agree, and you are not doing anything that I think you are doing? Like, how can she convince this man that I need to be in my church, there's nothing going on, he's my ex, and it ends there, and nothing is going to happen. No Lai Momo is going to happen.
Yeah, that is very, very interesting. I think that at this point, I think the lady even made some suggestions. She suggested to the husband to come to her church. So it sounded a little bit, funny, and I don't know, it's ridiculous, and I don't know, but I think that if that should be the reason why the husband should come to your church, then I'm afraid the lady needs a little bit help here, because what is he coming to do? Is he coming to be the police? Or is he coming to monitor your, interactions with him? I think it's a little bit absurd and risible, yeah. But he will because the man will never ever be comfortable at all at the church. Once that jealousy and those stuff have set in, there's nothing that can happen. So I will bluntly and unequivocally say that my dear sister, find another church, because some of us we left our comfort homes, and the funny aspect of it is that some of us are here and we are in certain churches that we are not even allowed, or we cannot even express ourselves in our local dialects. Sometimes you want to boo back, you want to say something, to elaborate your point, but you're not, because nobody's going to, hear you out. Nobody's going to understand what you're saying. So, but we are here, we're worshiping God, like my sister rightly said. So, my dear sister, I implore you to find another church, because I think that's the best option, because there's nothing that you can change to convince this man at this point.
Right. Seth, because your connection was a bit bad, I'll come to you again and I'll take your opinion on exes being friends. Do you think exes can still be friends? And also, in your opinion, should she change churches? No. Should she change the branch of her church? Should she go to another branch of her church?
Exes can be friends at times. It depends on, sometimes, some relationship do not end. For instance, maybe one of them had the chance to travel and, they didn't, because of lack of communication, they fell apart. Now, in such a situation, when they meet in future again, it's likely that, old flames can be reignited. And in such a manner, in such a situation where you find yourself in a situation where, you still have feelings for your ex, you must be very careful. And when you are married and you meet again, you must be very careful how you relate with the ex. You must discipline yourself. Other than that, you might find yourself in uncomfortable situations with your ex, which might not help your marriage. In other situations where, your ex was abusive or manipulative and you don't want to have anything to do with the person, you might not even want to be friends with such a person. So in such situations, it's difficult for you to navigate such relationships.
Right.
But where there are still feelings on both sides, though you are married, but still you remember the memories that you had with the ex, and they ignite some feelings, some emotions in you, and you are a married person, then you must be very cautious. You must discipline yourself. You must pray, and try as much as possible to limit interactions with the ex, so that it doesn't lead into a situation where you will regret and it will negatively affect your marriage.
Right.
That is my opinion.
On
Yeah.
that. Okay, but do you think she should change churches?
Well, if you happen to be in the same church with the ex, and you think that you have feelings for the ex, or the ex has feelings for you, and you know it, and the person even expressed to you that, I wish I would have married you, I wish you were with me. And I think you may have to advise yourself. If you have to leave the church, and that will, help to curtail the feelings that you have for the person, or the feelings that the person has for you, to save your marriage, to preserve the sanctity of your marriage, I think it will be to the glory of God and it will be to your honor of you and your spouse if you leave the church so that the worst doesn't happen. The Bible tells us to flee. So if you know that trouble is coming at you and you think that, you are strong, you'll be able to withstand it, by the time you realize you might have fallen. So it is better to flee than to be sorry. So that is my point of view. If you're in the same church and with an ex and you think the relationship with the ex might not help your marriage, it will be better if you leave the church for another branch.
Okay, so I'll take some comments before I come back and take your final words. So this one is from Mami Ajua Aqua, who says, Madam, you don't have any issue. You are just finding problems for yourself. If your husband isn't comfortable, just change the branch for peace sake. You don't see why your husband has a problem with the fact that you are friends with your ex. Your ex isn't your friend, madam. Stop that and focus on your marriage. Let your husband be your friend. It's high time counselors educate new couples about making their exes their friends. If you cherish the friendship between you and your ex, why didn't you marry him? Just imagine your husband being friends with his ex, and now he doesn't have an ex. Please stop that and be reasonable. Mami Keswa also says, Madam, please, is this so difficult to do? Please change your church. Why? You are so privileged, he's even allowing you to still worship without any qualms or misgivings. Please change your branch now. Elena Sari says, just put yourself in your husband's shoes. Would you have been happy if he was doing exactly what you are doing? Or say, bestie. Okay, so revivalist reformist Mordecai says, the lady is unserious. She may lose a good non-Adventist man. Okay. Let me see. I just want to pick a few more before we go. Abina Sankwa Papebi says, my sister, this is not a problem at all. Just listen to your husband to save your marriage. After all, he hasn't asked you to stop going to church. He says you should change your membership. That is all. Paul says, from the little you are comfortable to make public, you like your ex, and that is a major issue. Just be guided. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let me see. I just want to pick a few more. Let me see. There are so many. I'm just going through. Some of them I can't read because people are very upset. So I just want to make sure that I'm reading ones that are good enough for air. So please forgive me for taking some time. Someone says, Eric Bonsu says, it's very simple. If you don't want to change branches, then change your husband, since that is what you want to do. You can see that a lot of people are saying she should change her church branch and it's not a big deal. And a lot of people too are trying. Okay, this one's from Alex Boach, who says, marriage is all about trust and respect and love. If they both love and respect themselves, then they should trust each other. Okay, Josephine says, it's not right to keep exes when married. She should change the branch and move to another branch for peace to prevail in her marriage. Grace Quatson says, my dear, kindly change your branch because you are even lucky he has allowed you to go to church after marriage to a different faith-based partner. Okay, Satina Ifwata says, okay, so what if the ex follows her to the new church? Then we will know that this is a problem. Then we will know that the ex is bent on ruining her marriage. But, Priscilla, your final words for this couple, like moving forward, what should they do for the woman and for the man as well?
I think the man should take his time with the woman. Changes big steps in our life, and sometimes it doesn't come easy with us.
Right.
It's not like she's being stubborn, but she's afraid to take that bold step. So I think the man should relax with it. And to the woman, I think she should try as much as possible.
Okay, so Priscilla, I'm hearing that your mic is not, we can't hear you. So I'm going to the guys on Zoom, we'll fix it so that you can give your final comments. Amos, please, your final comments for these couple, the man and then the woman.
Yeah, thanks so much. To the man, I would say thank you, my friend. thank you for having our sister, and thank you for keeping her on the right path. So, because honestly, if any man tells you that, hey, you are my wife, but you are allowed to have your ex as your friend, that man, I mean, the love that man has for you is just something infinitesimal. For a fact, yes. So you cannot marry and have an ex as a friend. You can talk to the friend. You can talk to the ex in certain circumstances, but you cannot have him or her as a friend. So reading through the story, I think one thing that came to mind was the question of reasons why people go to church. I think that the lady is looking more into the social benefits, and we don't go to church for social benefits, that kind of jamboree, that kind of entertainment, or no. I think that the focus should be on Christ. So that is not to say that the church should not create the environment for people to socialize and those stuff. No, but all those things should come as a combo. So we should not focus mainly on those stuff. If we do that, we will be losing the point. And in the lady's case, it seems to me that she's placing too much emphasis on, her position and social. I'm the vice president. Come on, my dear. So I will advise her to rethink of her decision and then place Christ first, and she will be able to worship wherever she goes and will be comfortable and enjoy the service. To my man, I say thank you. You go.
Thank you so much, Amos. Seth, please quickly, your final words for these couple.
Well, my final words to them is that one, they need trust. They need to be honest with each other. Is the woman that there are no feelings between her and the husband? Is she sure that wanting the wife to stop her branch, is it genuinely because the relationship, or is a ploy to control the wife and perhaps in the course of time tell her to stop her Adventist faith completely? So there should be honesty. They should sit down and, communicate heart to heart as loved ones, and let each of them express genuinely their concerns, and they should chart a path as to what they need to do if for the interests of the marriage, which is priority. If the woman has to change her church branch and that will help her marriage to work, I think it will be in her interest to do so, because I believe that might even be a way by which she can even win the husband to her faith. Communication is also important in expressing their sentiments. How do they communicate? What kind of tonation do they use? Sometimes you might have genuine concerns, but the tonation, if you shout on top of your voice, if you yell at your spouse, though you might have genuine concerns, you're yelling, your spouse might think that you are using that as a way to manipulate him or her. So how the husband, how the wife communicates their concern is very important. If you don't communicate in a loving manner, I don't think they might be able to find solutions to the problem. They must also have love. When you read 1 Corinthians chapter 13 to 7, it talks about love. Verse 5 and 7 says, unrudely. Is the woman behaving unrudely to her husband by her association with her ex? Is the husband behaving complaints about the relationship the wife has about the ex? It says, love does not seek its own. Are they being selfish? Is the wife being selfish by insisting that she's not going to change her church branch, even though the husband has misgivings about her relationship with her ex that she's spending so much time with? Is the husband being selfish, insisting that the wife should change her church branch because of a relationship with the ex, which has no challenge to the marriage? It continues so that love is not provoked. Are they provoking each other by their actions? Is the wife provoking the husband by being friends with an ex? Is she provoking the husband? Is the husband provoking the wife by insisting that she stop her church branch, she stop being friends with somebody, though it's an ex, but there's no intimacy between them? Are they thinking evil? Because it says love thinks no evil. Is the husband thinking evil about the wife because she has a relationship with the ex, because they are in the choir, they are both youth leaders? Is he thinking evil that, hey, these people have something to do in the past? Now that they are youth leaders, won't they continue? Is he thinking evil? Is the wife also thinking evil about the thoughts that the husband has, about the concern that the husband has? Is she thinking evil by still insisting that she wants to remain in the church despite the fact that the husband is not happy about the relationship?
Okay.
So these are things that they need to think about. And I'm sure once they are honest about their feelings, they trust each other, and they would make love the ultimate goal, I'm sure they'll be able to find an amicable solution to this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Seth. Priscilla, your final words for these two young couple.
Well, to the man, I want to say he should have some patience. He should exercise a little bit of patience, because changes don't come easy. They are big steps in our life, and usually they are not things we are ready to do, but we have to do them anyway. So I think the man should exercise some patience. And to the woman, if she really wants to keep her marriage, I think she should obey, because the Bible admonishes wives to be submissive, and this, through submissiveness, they can win their husbands over. So who knows? Maybe it's because of this guy that the husband doesn't want to fellowship with her. But if she changes her branch, the husband will follow her to the other branch. So I think she should make up her mind. It's now or never.
Or never. Let me read some comments, then we can go. This one's from James, who says, my dear, prevention is better than cure. Listen to your husband. Priscilla Sewa says, would you be asking the same question if you were in your husband's shoes? And now, sister, how is it too difficult for you to grant your husband's request? You guys can disturb pound. Patience says, the fact is you are enjoying the company of your ex and you still like him. Because if not, like your husband wouldn't be asking you to quit the church. Please respect the stand of your husband. Afo Ishan says, how could your ex be your friend? Please, better change your branch and stop being friends with your ex. Kwame Fafanyo says, my sister, from your story, it's 95% possible for your... Okay, I don't think we can read that. Lord Kusi says, change a branch and you are crying. What if he orders you to stop the church and join at his own church? Just trust and obey him. Festus says, your church service begins from your home, so problem in the home, problem at church itself. Florence says, don't let the small mistake kill your marriage. Okay. So this one says, the lady is a kid. She wasn't ready for marriage. She doesn't want to sacrifice her ex for peace. If it were me, like the matter chop hot already. Not because of the ex, but how the woman is handling the situation. Okay. All right, so we can see that a lot of people are siding with our panelists and saying that you guys she should change her church. And you can see that it was going to bring peace. I just want to say some few things if you are listening. There are reasons why people break up. Some people it's mutual understanding. Some people it was a sour breakup. Some people they just had to break up. And sometimes it is a blessing. that you broke up with an ex. And so in this particular situation, my worry is why it is so difficult for you to make your husband happy and comfortable. He's clearly shown that he's not okay with something, and you're saying that what? Oh, he's my good friend. And so? Because the truth of the matter is, he can be a good friend, but there are so many friends that people can have. You don't need an ex to be a friend. Whatever he does, there's nothing he does that nobody can do for you. There's nothing you need from your ex that no other human being can provide for you. So if it's going to take changing of your church branch to make your marriage work, I don't even know why we are having a debate about this. Please do what to make your home happy. 5 years from now, this issue will not be an issue. It won't matter. So forget about this, he's my good friend, and find other friends. This is what at all is this. I don't even get it. Our time is fast spent, but I want Priscilla to talk to us again about Miss Virtuous Woman. Just repeat the information to us, and then we can leave.
Okay, so the Miss Virtuous Woman is a maiden edition of, it's very new. That's the first of its kind. And the main event will be from 28th of April to 3rd of May at the Women's Ministry Congress. And during those periods, we would hold series of events. We would be talking about marriage, we'll be talking about Sabbath, we'll be talking about our beliefs, our teachings, and it's actually going to be fun. There's a cocktail planned out for us.
Oh, I see.
So it's going to be entertaining and educative. But on Sunday, coming Sunday, we are going to have a cooking competition at ACC. We are going to learn about how to spread the gospel through cooking and food. How is cooking going to help us as Adventists, not Adventist women alone, but Adventists in general. So I think we should have massive supports over there so that people would hear of us and join us.
Right. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Priscilla is standing, so please vote for her. She's Priscilla Momo Afoti. She needs all the votes that she can get. Thank you so much, Amos and Seth, for coming on. It's been a great conversation. I think you guys have given a lot of information, detailed information, knowledgeable information that will help this woman. Amos, I don't know if you're there, but I'm reminding you again about Hymns and Worship Experience. The theme is Thy Kingdom Come, is on April 30th, 2022 at 3 p.m. prompt at the Garrison SDA Church. There will be so many choirs representing. We have the Garrison SDA Church Choir itself. We have the Inspirational Chorale. We have the Marvelous Praise Choir, Hanson Road SDA Church Choir, the Temple Choir, and then the Legon SDA Church Choir. There will be some solo artists too. We have Joel Brian Adu, we have Efia Derby, and then we have Pastor Ofori Atta. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back same time next week with yet another exciting episode of Real Talk. Please, you can send your stories, you can send your topics that you want us to discuss to our WhatsApp number, to our email address, to a direct message on Facebook or Instagram. And we will make sure that we bring just the right people to have a great conversation. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the content on Hope TV. And we will be back same time next week. Please do have yourselves a lovely evening.